Resurgence! Utah!
Viva Las Vegas! Welcome to Slapshot, Utah. We made it. We made it, Mammoth Nation. Here we are. Here we are, finally on the eve of the playoffs. So, of course, by the time that you've heard this, we will already know the result of the first Utah Mammoth playoff game. It's a joy to be here with our favorite guest of all time. John, would you like to introduce the man of honor today that we talk with on Slapshot Utah?
Of course, Lee. It is our privilege to have the 416 assassin, the human encyclopedia, the pond professor, the apex of the Arctic, the ivory commissioner, and probably the only Mammoth fan more north than our friends the Clearys in Green Bay. Julian, you know him as 996 The Howl. Thanks for coming with us today, buddy.
What an introduction. You gotta send me all those.
We'll have a shirt made up.
Yeah.
Julian, I imagine you're as if not doubly stoked to be here with us speaking about this wonderful occasion. Our Utah Mammoth have made it to the playoffs. How are you feeling, man? Did the 2025-26 season meet your expectations? What do you think?
And I'm still shocked. I think I'll be shocked until the puck drops. But man, I just wanted to start. I feel like I'm creating fear and anxiety every time I look at Vegas, look at their stats. I just want to just soak in it, just put my feet in and just embrace what's going to happen. I'm really excited. This whole season has been meeting and sort of exceeding expectations, but I can't wait to see Gunther and Cooley in their first playoffs, how Andre Tourney, how he adjusts. It's just going to be great. And I just wanted to start.
Yeah, I feel for you because in Toronto, you guys are 10 o'clock puck drop, right?
You don't even know. We're not even talking about how I'm going to watch this game and wake up.
But, dude, we are, excuse me, so ecstatic down here. We have a little watch party. I wish you could be there with us tonight, Julian. But going into the playoffs, who are you looking at to be the most impactful as far as what we need to go maybe to the next level?
I don't think I could single out one guy. I think the whole team needs to stay in their system. They can't start getting in their head. We know the Mammoth, they could be inconsistent at times. That's not saying I'm a bad fan or something. We know the Mammoth, sometimes they have consistency issues. They just got to be all on the same page. I would like Sergachev to play like he did against that national game, or just throwing pucks on net. Veggie, he needs to be solid. And we need Keller, Schmaltz, Gunther, and Cooley to just be themselves. Because if they're not themselves, there's really no one we could rely on for offense. It'd be nice for Paterka to score, Carconi, Yamamoto, Kraus. But if Keller, Schmaltz, Gunther, Cooley, they're not scoring, it's that's going to be a huge issue.
So, Julian, we were all feeling pretty insecure towards the beginning of the season about the power play. It felt like our Achilles heel. And thank goodness it feels like it's coming around, or it has come around. What do you think the difference is made in the power play over the last several games? And do you think we're going to be able to keep it up through the playoffs?
Yeah, I hope so. I think they will. But why their power play's working? If you watch their power play, it makes me dizzy. Imagine the other team. I have no idea what they're going to do. Whereas earlier in this season, you knew okay, it's going to Gunther. When are you going to go to Gunther? But now, Cooley just adds this dimension of what the hell is this guy going to do with the puck? And him and Keller on that side, they could just place their passes perfectly, either to Schmaltz in the flat, Sergachev at a point wrister, or find Gunther across ice for that one timer. So I think they just add some dynamicism and unpredictability with Julian there.
Yeah, they've been so fun to watch. Like one guy for me that like going into the season, we all knew Gunther was going to produce. We all knew Cooley was going to produce. We know Keller, but Schmaltzy has been on a tear as of late, and he's been really fun to watch. Who do you think has been like maybe someone you didn't think was going to make that big of an impact that maybe was a large part of the reason that we are playing the Vegas Golden Knights in the first round of the playoffs?
To be honest, I think you took the answer. I think Nick Schmaltz, I would have not expected this of him. I think he was sort of a punching bag last season, but it was overshadowed by our terrible secondary scoring. But I'm so happy like Kraus and Carconi have had huge bounce back
Oh
seasons.
yeah.
And I was saying it throughout the offseason, like keep Kraus, don't trade him. He's gonna bounce back. Some people in my comments, they might have been like, no, we gotta move off of Kraus. I'm like, no, like he's gonna bounce back, trust me. So I would say Kraus and Schmaltz uh, definitely helped the team get to where they were. And I would have never expected Schmaltz to have a career year 30 plus goal season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Schmaltz coming in and just getting into that cold fish start last year kind of froze out some of the fan base. But if you look, once he turned it on, he still finished with a decent season last year. If you look at maybe where he turned it on until today, he's everything that this franchise would have wanted him to be and more, and totally worth his extension.
100%.
Okay, so here's the question that I have for you, Julian, is that I think in this series, goaltending on both sides, okay, is going to be a real key to finding out where we end up, second round or going home. Vejmelka, sometimes he's just absolutely amazing. I can't see another goaltender. Can you playing in this series at all? And also, I don't know if the Golden Knights really and truly have their goaltending straightened out, but Tortorella seems to have been made sense of it. Give me your take. Are you feeling at all nervous about whether or not Vejmelka is up for this or not?
I said it in my preview. I feel like Vejmelka is one of the most mentally stable goalies in the league. He doesn't show emotion. He's not even a quirky goaltender. He feels like such a nice guy, even in his interviews. I feel like he could shake off a lot, but I do know, like the whole team, Vejmelka is sort of inconsistent at times as well. I feel like if we see Vanacek in net, that's a bad sign. Not to be hard on Vanacek. It's just he shouldn't be playing the playoffs. Sure, if it's like we're down 4-0 going into the third, yeah, sure, rest of it for the next game. But yeah, I really hope Vejmelka makes a name for himself across mainstream hockey world because no one knows who this guy is, and we know he could steal games. And if he could steal this series, everyone's gonna know his name at the end of the series.
Dude, random story, but this is cool. So, this week, I heard through the grapevine there was a signing at this BMW dealership here in Salt Lake, right? So I showed up, and there were 7 players. We had Keller, Cooley, Veggie, Tanev, Schmaltz, and Marino, and Gunther. Okay? But speaking about Veggie, he is a giant. He is a giant and a stud of a man. He wooed my girl just walking by. My girl don't even look at me the same. She even turned to me and says, he got the twinkle in his eye like a Disney prince. And I'm like, what the hell, you know? But no, he is a monster of a man. And I am right with you, Julian. I'm excited to see him play in these playoffs because I was fortunate enough to be at Vanacek's probably greatest game when we beat the Dallas Stars in Dallas 6-3 a month or so ago. And so it made me believe. And then I saw 2 games and I was like, boy, I'm really looking forward to this kid that we got coming out of college next year.
He's a big kid too.
Yeah. What was his name? And he's Czech as well, no?
Julian, how do you say it? Is it Hrobel?
Hrobel?
Rabble?
It's correctly pronounced rabble, but I hate that, so I just call him
Rabble.
Rabble. Like in the World Juniors, the commentators would call him rabble. But
Rabble.
calling him horrible, I feel like that's cooler.
Rabble.
Horrible, yeah.
Barely.
But how do you?
I thought Rabel was cool, but that is
Yeah,
not correct.
Crable. But how do you feel
Crable.
about like? Do you see him as maybe a potential like going on into the future, like goalkeeper that could be like a sustainable backup for Veggie?
Yeah, like Veggie Hurlball tandem is like my dream, and Hurlball
Ooh,
will be a
yeah.
starter within 3 years for sure. Yeah, he's like the best goaltender prospect this organization dating back to the Coyotes ever had, and
Oh,
it's a
like
small
that?
pool of goalie prospects the Coyotes had. Yeah, the Coyotes, their best goalies were like signings, like Mike Smith, Ilya Brizgalov, um, Kemper. I loved Kemper, but and then
Didn't,
Vemelka, but
did
rarely.
Didn't Aiden Hill play on the Coyotes at some point?
Yeah, he was probably their best goaltender prospect since
Yeah.
2010.
Okay.
So yeah, Aiden Hill
Gotcha.
on the other side of the ice. Yeah, that's a great catch. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the young guns then. If we're into Rabble, look, Tisha Ginla, he was on the cover of the Hockey News recently, lit
Gabe
it
Smith?
up. Yeah. Talk about some of these kids, Caleb Denoyer, Cole Bedouin, but Tige, look, the future is so bright. You got to wear shades, it feels like. Talk about this, Julian.
Yeah, that's the best part about these playoffs is the best isn't even here yet, and it's just gonna keep getting better, keep folding in these guys. Like we probably won't see Boot and Simishev in these playoffs. They might, but next year that's another year under their belt. So you're gonna start injecting in these cheap, amazingly skillful prospects into a team that's already solidified themselves as a playoff team. So in a few years, Baudouin, Ginla, Desnoyers, thank God we didn't trade any of them. Gabe Smith, who like won a bunch of awards in Quebec, in the Quebec League. The future's bright, and today it's bright as well. So it's going to be such great 10 years or so being a Utah fan.
Is it possible we've seen the last? I know this is maybe a negative glance, so slap me, but have we seen the last of Barrett Hayton possibly for the Utah Mammoth?
No,
You don't think so?
I think
Okay.
they'll sign him. He's cheap. You never know with injuries next season. He could fill in a top six if a top six centerman goes down. I feel like Hayden will replace a sort of Kerfoot Stenlin type player because both Stenlin and Kerfoot, they're expiring agents, players who might demand more than Hayden, and Hayden has a little bit more skill, I would say, than Kerfoot and Stenlin. So I could see him becoming that third or fourth line defensive centerman there at Hayden.
So Barrett Hayton, remind me, he was first round like 6th or 8th overall, wasn't he? Was he? Julian, does that feel, as a Coyotes fan, does it feel like a disappointment?
These are such hard questions.
Here, I'll Google it real quick. I got you.
Fifth. Let's say fifth. You can Google it while I answer. I think he was
Still is a big pick.
I think it would hurt more if we had to rely on him. Like, we don't need to rely on Hayden. Hayden could just be this defensive young centerman with some sneaky offensive skill. And Cooley, Desnoyers, Schmaltz, they could take care of those top six center roles. And Hayden's going to be cheap. It's not like he's getting paid $7 million a year to be third line center. It's like, no, this guy's 2.5, $3 million. Put him third or fourth line. He'll be dependable. I'm fine with that. Obviously, at the time, fifth overall, you don't want that to happen. But it's not like we rely on Hayden to be a fifth overall. There's a lot of other players taking over that mantle.
Yeah, you just see players like, and I'm not putting them in the same league, but like, Zegras playing on the Flyers last night, gets new life in Philadelphia. In return, Gauthier in Anaheim seems to, figure out his problems, You just wonder. That's why I was checking in with you as a Coyotes fan. Does it feel like it's fallen flat? But you're saying economically he makes good sense. I just wondered if maybe he might be moved as a trade piece at some point.
He has value. I don't disagree. I think Hayden, Dursey have a lot of value. So if they were going to make another huge trade, which I'm sort of scared considering the last trade was Doan and Peterka and Kesselring, I feel like Hayden and Dursey carry the most value on the team. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do trade him for a great player because he has value.
I have a two-part question for you. First of all, you were right. It's 5th overall that he went. But so we're seeing this Austin Matthews leaving the Leafs. How would you feel about, like, do you think that would be a good turnaround? But going back to the Kesselring and Doan trade, do you think who won that trade? Do you think Buffalo won or did we win? Did that improve us? Because it clearly helped the Sabres finally beat their 14-year playoff drought.
It definitely wasn't a slam dunk like literally 100% of people thought it was when the trade was made. I feel like for whatever reason, we wouldn't give Doan PP1 or top line minutes. Like, I don't know why that reason is. I don't think we'll ever know. That's up to Turney and Bill Armstrong, but I feel like Doan would have never got the opportunity with Utah like he is with Buffalo. Buffalo just put him PP1, top line minutes. I think he's down to like his third line now, but he exploded because of that opportunity. And it felt like we would have never given him that opportunity. Paterka, he had 25 goals this season. His career has 27, and he did what we expected. I sort of probably expected 30 plus from him, but he wasn't a defensive liability like all of Buffalo was saying when that trade happened. Everyone in my comments from Buffalo was like, he's terrible defensively. It's like I rarely see Paterka make a defensive mistake. Like it's always Dursey or someone else. So I feel like Paterka will grow with the team, and I do not want Matthews. I would prefer Matthew Nyes if we're talking Toronto players. I rather Nyes than Matthews. Too much money, too much weight with his name, and he's had a rough couple of seasons. So if that continues, why are we going to pay $13 million for that? So yeah, I would stay away from that.
Okay, Julian, I have another question for you coming from the long perspective of being a longtime Coyotes fan. I know that everybody says it's a brand new franchise, and it is, but look, we're always going to talk about the whole length in Coyotes/Mammoth history. Is this probably not, I'm sure, but is this the best team? And well, if not, which is the best or the most favorite, the most deadly Coyotes/Mammoth team you know of?
Well, it's two completely different teams. In 2012, when I started to become a real Coyotes fan, they were winning games 2-1, 2-1, 3-2, go to overtime, beat the Blackhawks in round one. The Blackhawks went prime Kane, prime Taves, prime Hossa. They were such a defensive dynamo. Mike Smith, that's where he created his name. So he could be, Vanelka could be the Mike Smith of 2012. He had like a 920 save percentage throughout that whole conference final run. But I prefer to watch the Mammoth with their young speed. Their goals they score goals, first of all, whereas 2012 Counties rarely score. And if they did score, it would be like a garbage goal. But the way the Mammoth score at will, so much skill, such high entertainment value. So I would definitely take this Mammoth team over the 2012 Coyotes.
Well, it's like you said about Paterka. Like he had 25 goals. We're expecting 30. It's hard to score 30 goals when you got Logan Cooley and Dylan Gunther and Clayton Keller and Schmaltz now in the mix. That like you said, I think Paterka, I think a lot of people are really harsh on him because this team scores. I've been to multiple 6-goal games this season. And that's crazy to see. Like, it's so fun to give so many high fives for a season, given sometimes we'll score 5 goals and still lose. But this is a young, fun, and fast team. What are you expecting tonight against the Knights? And what do you think Do you think we go aggressive? Do you think we kind of go defensive? What do you think is in Coach Bear's game plan going into game 1 in Las Vegas in the Fortress T-Mobile Arena?
I think we gotta hit them with the speeder. The moment the puck drops, we have to like put them on their heels. We have to make sure they're not expecting our speed. If we play safe, too defensively focused, I feel this anxiety already. Just battling with it. It's like, oh, I'm so scared, but I shouldn't be scared. I should be excited. But they need to attack with speed immediately. They need to catch them off guard. They need to make sure Vegas tonight is like, damn, like, okay, even if Vegas wins tonight, I want them to be in the dressing room of like, damn, those kids were fast. Like they're going to be trouble. If we play it safe, concentrate on defense, and then Vegas wins, Vegas could be like, ah, they're not fast at all. Like we don't need to worry
Right.
about them. So I really need to see that energy and speed because that's our way to win. If they don't have
Yeah.
energy and speed in these games, they definitely won't win. Unfortunately, to say.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, something about I keep going back to the Flyers Penguins game, but the kids in Philadelphia, it's like they're kind of playing what is the guy said on the broadcast with house money. Like they're playing pressure free because they know they've got years and years to gel. And you can see they're all having fun. Like a player like Porter Martone with the elbow room and the space he has as a 19-year-old to go out there and fail is probably exactly the negative C space he needs to really become a goal scorer. So you know, Rick Tocchet may have transformed that team, right? And you can see, huh? What's that?
A talking hater, but it's
Kid hater.
playoff, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then you can see how Tortorella has kind of, you know, we'll see how it actually goes in the playoffs. But over the last 7 or 8 games, I mean, the team feels transformed. And so I guess my question for you is, you know, Mammoth fans have been arguing back and forth. Anytime we lose 3 games in a row, half the fan base wants to jump from the Plaza Hotel downtown and get Bear fired. My question for you is this an audition for Bear Tourigny to see whether or not he's the kind of coach that can lead through the playoffs? Or is like, how much does it matter? You know, you talked about the experience of like Ian Cole and all that. Like, where does the rubber meet the road when it comes to coaching, and how important is it getting through the playoff season?
I'm just as excited to see Cooley and Gunther in their first playoff series, see Vamelka. I'm equally as excited to see how Tourney handles it because it's a totally different beast. And yeah, like again, anxieties and fears are like, what if Tourney just gets masterfully outcoached? It's like, what is that? We were talking about coaching changes in the middle of the season. So do you change the coach if he just gets outmatched and Tortorella's adjustments will dominate us, or is Turney able to just tap into a team better than Tortorella and be like, I know exactly what player to put out right now. I know this player, let's say the third line of the perfect Carconi, they've got it tonight. I'm gonna put them out more than let's say the top line, because the top line's not feeling it tonight. Like, I feel like it is an audition for Turney. I'm equally as excited to see how he performs. And I think he could do a great job. I think the brotherhood in this team is pretty much unmatched defensively.
Yeah, I'm obviously I'm a homer, so I'm cheering for Coach Bear. But one of my favorite stats about Coach Bear is that in the last 5 years, every year the record gets better. And he keeps stacking those wins. And I think you're exactly right, Julian. I think these boys are in there, they're fighting for more than just themselves. And you can see that they have like a close-knit bond. Like when I was at the signing thing, I was like joking around with them. Like I was like talking, you know me, I'm talking shit. I'm like, Veggie, you're the only reason I eat vegetables now, you know? And like, and they were all like laughing, and you could tell that like they actually give a shit about each other. And I love watching that. And I just got to hit. I think we have the better coach in this series because how do you say his name? Tortorella. Yeah, he wasn't he the assistant coach that just took over like 10 games ago?
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't even coaching for the past year or maybe 2 years.
Oh, see? So there's my hot take. We got the better coach in this situation, in my opinion. But I'm also certified idiot, so don't take any word for that. But like, I love Coach Bear, and I love that he's got these boys humming. And I'm with you, Julian. I can't wait for tonight, man.
Yeah.
Well, Tortorella kind of comes in as like the veteran technician, having had success with big teams before. But yeah, I think that it could go like, can you imagine the way the fan base is going to react if we get swept? And so, yeah, I guess I'm a little nervous for it too.
Don't even say it, dude.
That's not going to happen. Okay, Julian, I have a question for you. So, first off, Slapshot Utah listener, right now, if you're not already subscribed to 996 The How, Julian's YouTube channel, stop what you're doing, turn off this broadcast, and go do it immediately. And while you're there, you will notice that my man, in celebration of the Utah Mammoth making it to the first playoff appearance in Utah history, he did the Beer Mile Challenge, which he crushes a PBR, runs a lap. He does that 4 times. My question for you, Julian, should we win Lord Stanley's Cup, what kind of masochistic demonstration do you have for us that involves drinking and physical fitness? Go.
Drinking, no, but definitely it's going to be a lot of painful challenges whenever Utah makes the playoffs. Maybe I'll do more, they make it to the final, but definitely the main point is going to be putting myself through torture. That's going to be the fun part of the video. It won't always be drinking, but yeah, some of them involve drinking, but most of it will be physical toughness and fitness. It'll be fun. Yeah.
The Stanley Cup celebration is Julian's going to drink a 30 rack and drive to Utah.
Wouldn't be too steep of a drunk so long as he just paced himself. I mean, that's not even a beer an hour.
Yeah. Hey, Julian, on some real talk, we might have 2 extra tickets for Game 7 in Las Vegas if you want to fly down from Toronto.
That's true. I have Game 7 tickets, and if you can make it, I got one of them that has your name on it for Game 7 in Las Vegas. I know that's quite a pack and go for you, but it's got your name on it, brother.
I think the Vegas flights are cheap, aren't they? They want you in Vegas.
Yes,
it's that cheap, so you spend more in Vegas. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I think
look into it.
Game 7 might be May 1st on a Friday.
3rd.
It will be May 3rd. It's already scheduled.
Sunday.
May 3rd is a Sunday. Sunday, May 3rd. I've already got Monday off of work, so
same.
It's. I might go to Vegas. I might go to Vegas even if we lose. We'll see. But
hey, Julie. I was just Julie. Thank you so much, Julian, for coming on. You've helped me so much through this whole season watching your updates. I love that you do like the every 10 game updates and tell us how the players are doing. It gives me as a fan somewhere to like actually learn some like good information other than listening to ESPN or whatever the fuck else is available. So thank you so much for coming back on here with us. And like Leroy said, if you're a listener and you're not subscribed to 996 The How, you're asleep. Wake up. Go subscribe right now because the first playoff run, dude, this is going to be epic. And we need all the stats we can get because that's all I want to know about.
Yeah, Slapshot listener, listen, we're all doing this because we love it, just because we want to share our love for the Mammoth and we want to share the hype. And there's some things that we cannot deliver. We are a fan hype-centric podcast, but if you want to find a pod that gets into the nitty-gritty of what's really going on with the team and is going to cut it up and give you some numbers and some like actual somebody knows about hockey analysis, talk to this guy right here on his podcast 996 The How. Sign up, give it a watch. We love it. Julian, it is always fantastic to have you on the show. Leave us with something optimistic for us to hope for. What is your prediction for the Utah Mammoth this playoff Stanley Cup season? Give us something. What do you got for us?
I got Utah in 7. I got Utah winning tonight in overtime. It's gonna be excellent. I can't wait to watch it.
Let's freaking go, dude!
Let's go! Tusked up!
Tusked
We love
up.
you, baby!
So everyone listening, you'll already know the end of the result. But thank you so much for listening. Go subscribe to Julian right now if you already haven't. Julian, we'll talk to you after the game tonight. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Slapshot Utah!